We want to be one of the companies in this area that people, if they have an idea about wanting to give back to something, we want them to approach us so that we can set something up to help whatever organization or family that they need.
All right, welcome to another episode of Dream Achievers. I'm joined today by founder, CEO, whatever hat we want to wear for the day, Kelly with Sweet Batches. You guys know them as the awesome dog treats that you see at the farmers markets, but I know her because she made some amazing sugar cookies that we had for Valentine's Day for my little girls and my wife. So welcome to the show with that, Kelly. So I know we were talking a little bit beforehand off camera with that, but now you're not originally from Lynchburg.
Nope, I grew up in Cape May, New Jersey, very bottom of the state where the ocean meets the state is where I grew up in Cape May. It's a little beach town.
So, grow up in New Jersey, how do you find your way to Central Virginia?
Lynchburg College. Yep. So when I graduated, my junior, senior year of high school, I was applying for schools, not in New Jersey, but all in Virginia, and LC, known as University of Lynchburg now, but they sent me a flyer in the mail and said apply here, so I did, and then I got accepted the letter on my first day of my senior year of high school, and we came down for a visit, and that was that. And my cousin lived in Appomattox at the time, and I've always had horses, so I was able to bring my horse down with me and have it stay at her house while I was at school, and the distance was close, so I could just go back and forth and go to school and take care of her, and so that's how I ended up here at LC in 2007, and then I graduated in 2011.
Okay, so you graduated before the changeover where they had the choice of names on the degree. That's and everything with that. Yeah, a beautiful campus.
Yeah, it is.
So came down, obviously you brought your horse, you had fun with that, you graduated 2011.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did you graduate in something to do with what you're doing now as far as with food production? And
No, I took culinary arts in high school, but in college I graduated as elementary education teacher, and then a couple years later I went and got my master's degree in special ed and autism.
Okay.
So nope, it has nothing to do with dog treats or cookies now, but it's a little bit of part of my story.
So you graduated in education. Mm-hmm. Did you teach around in this area?
I did. I homebounded through Appomattox, and then I taught over at Rivermont Centra before I became a SRO at the Appomattox County Schools, and then I moved out to Virginia Beach area and taught in the Portsmouth City Schools, and then came back out here, taught at Bedford County for a year, and here we are.
And you mentioned, as far as with that stopover Virginia Beach, that was an important one because that's where you met your husband.
That's right. That's right.
So in your time that you did that, so you took a winding path with the journey, right?
For sure.
Education of different types, becoming a school resource officer, with that, then back into the education side. What was it that just kind of spurred you on that you said, you know what? I don't think that education is it. I don't think that the law enforcement is it. I want to do something different.
Well, I've always had side hustles, that have just been extra income for me. But I've always thought while I was working, whatever job it was, there's got to be something more than this. I watch all these people that have their own businesses, and it just grows and grows and grows, and can at one point, fulfill their need to upkeep their family. And so I thought, well, let's just give this a shot. I was just kind of tired of following rules, essentially.
I'm going to put a link to a previous episode. It kind of reminds me, we had Ken and Jess Hess from County Smoke in our first episode. But with that story of, it was the thing on the side that you were doing. For them, it was the barbecue on the side that they were doing with that, and then all of a sudden it became the full-time gig.
That's right.
And that when you see that, and you see the success that's here in Lynchburg of so many people that had that same vision. So, Lynchburg, Appomattox, Bedford area, just full of people that are passionate about doing something different.
Yes.
I think that this is like where they send all the rule breakers, the people with that. But that's amazing that you just said, you know what? I don't need to take the same path. And you were joking earlier, you said, you've kind of done this all the way along. You're the eldest.
Yeah.
And you just carved your own path and said, guys, follow if you want, but this is the way that I'm going.
That's right. That's right.
So you mentioned that early on when you kind of had the idea of doing gourmet cookies,
Mm-hmm.
that you had approached some local organizations here that help run the farmers markets.
Yep.
And that's what helped guide you to the point of where you're at. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. So I got the idea of the gourmet cookies from my friends who buy them up in New Jersey, and I thought, well, I could do that, So I had reached out to some of the people that I had known locally that have their own businesses, and that people come and like buy their stuff. And Bonnie, who's out in the Evergreen Lavender Farm, she told me to get involved with the farmers markets because she takes her lavender stuff to the downtown Lynchburg farmers markets. And actually we coordinate with her because we did her Christmas event with her, and we'll be doing her June event, the Lavender Festival, and we make honey lavender shortbread cookies. Ooh. That she takes to the farmers market downtown. So she's the one who put me on to the farmers markets and gave me the ones to reach out to, and we just got like a great response. Erica out in Bedford, and then Dorothy in Forest, and Dorothy really has just like, they've both been very supportive, but Dorothy just kind of took us under her wing and just showed us all the things, and really set us up for where we are right now.
And you mentioned from that conversation with Dorothy that's where you said, hey, the cookies are great.
Right.
But dog treats are going to be over the top.
Ticket. That's right, yeah.
So I've seen this over the years. We lived down in Orlando. I shared with you for 4 years, and you would have people that would buy, you see that they would monogram clothing and do stuff like that. But that stuff didn't sell as much as the monogram dog collars.
Right.
So because people are willing to spend money or invest in their pet and maybe splurge for things that they won't even splurge on for themselves.
It's kind of like when, you've got horses, and your horses, they rip the blankets the night before a snowstorm's supposed to hit. So you're not going to get that pedicure anymore. You're going to buy, your horse a blanket. It's just like, you're right. The pets, you just splurge, because they're your babies. You can have human babies and fur babies. It's just, you just love them.
And the stuff that goes into these treats, it's
All
good
natural.
Quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'll tell you a funny story with this. Years ago when I lived in Indiana, I had one of my coworkers that he and his wife had a nice jar that was sitting on the counter.
Uh-huh.
And it was all of these little cut out cookies. And I got one out, and it was like, it's good kind of apple spice with this. It's a good flavor. And he was like, you're eating Odie's dog treats.
That's so cute.
But it was like a peanut butter, apple spice, everything. And I know that when we've bought from you in the past, and we look on the package, there's nothing in there that's no filler. It's none of these things. It's good, high quality ingredients that you guys include.
That's right. It's all human ingredients, and there's no preservatives, no fillers. It's just simple 4 ingredients, and they're all natural peanut butter flavored.
So with your treats, you mentioned that you said, hey, we had kind of the challenge initially that you go, how do we go from being the side hustle to being the main event for us? But, along the way, it's funny how things happen. You mentioned some phone calls that came through as far as an event that actually wound up putting you in front of a booth with Paws of Honor.
That's right. Yeah.
So you want to share some of that story as far as what Paws of Honor is and what it means to you and your family? Sure.
So we got linked in with Paws of Honor through the Super Pet Expo up in the Chantilly area up in DC. And so Paws of Honor is a nonprofit organization, and it's dedicated to caring for the retired law enforcement and military canines. And it helps them by offsetting their veterinary costs. Because some of these dogs just need like the minor upkeep of veterinaries visits, and then some of them need as far as surgeries and aquatherapy, because they go through as much as their handler does, if not more. So we're super thrilled to be part of that. And it really is so awesome to us, because our family is just full of law enforcement and military, and my youngest sister is a canine handler through the military out in Spain right now. So that's even more like special to us. You know, we've always had dogs, always have had pets, and the military and law enforcement just has like a special place in my family and in me. And so anybody to be able to like give back to them and also give back to the dogs, and you know, is just what we want to do.
And you guys, it's you see the passion of giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is money that you could keep,
That's right.
that could be going towards your business, but you guys have decided, you know what, we're going to do more. And I know that over this winter you did the Smith Strong campaign,
Mm-hmm.
as far as raising money for Coach, and that you've got another campaign that's getting ready to start right now.
That's right.
As we record this. You want to share with everybody a little bit about that next campaign here for the month of April?
Yeah, sure. So April, we're doing a partnership fundraiser with the Yellow Branch Challengers out of, I think it's Campbell County, but I'm pretty sure it's Brookneal, and they're the organization for the special needs community in this area, and it helps raise money for their activities that they do, sports and other outside and indoor activities that they can give to that community to help keep them involved and keep them going and keep their spirits up, and just give them extracurricular activity. And I know that from speaking with some of the people that are involved in that organization, that the people who are involved just really, really enjoy it. And so being a special education teacher with another certification in autism, that again, it's another thing that holds special in my heart. So we're just super glad to be able to to give back to them, and just raise money so that they can just continue to flourish and blossom and do all of the things.
Well, I know that in a prior episode that I recorded with Little Otter's Flower Farm,
Mm-hmm.
and the link for that will be above if you're watching on YouTube, but you can go back and you can watch that. It's amazing to see what can be done from the sense of, you've got highly functioning people that
sure.
might be, that they're deemed that they're autistic or special needs with that, but it shouldn't limit them. But
Right.
Unfortunately, I know that when I was talking with Max and Jen, that a lot of times that they're put into a place where it's like, no, we're not going to hire you. No, and there's a huge unemployment issue.
Right.
So that's why she created the Little Otter Flower Farms for Max to have somewhere to thrive. And now they're bringing in other people
Right.
that they're helping work the fields and do stuff, and they're showing them business skills of how they can go out and create something for themselves like that as well.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you're supporting with that. So here for the whole month of April, it's a portion of the proceeds from
So
orders?
we're offering two kinds of cookies, shortbread and sugar by the dozen, and then we're offering also dog treats, our spring collection dog treats that will go to both Paws of Honor and to this fundraiser.
And I know my wife is excited, which we will have already enjoyed these as this is airing, but the Easter eggs.
Yes.
With peanut butter Easter eggs.
Okay.
So this is one of the things that I know when I go into the local gas stations, convenience stores and everything, she's like, hey, see if they have a homemade. And as soon as we saw it pop up, she was like, yep, there we go. She's like,
So
you need to put
sweet.
in an order with that. But when you can have local handmade artisans that are creating things, it's not just creating furniture or artwork or anything. It's creating art and what you're doing with your culinary skills,
Yeah.
which is really cool with this. And it kind of seems like that I've hit a stride of people that they're culinary related, with Purple Door, with two birds meal prep and different things. But it's, when we see this, it's because there's a need. There's a gap of people trying to create these things. So what relationships have been most important for you? You mentioned as far as with the farmers markets and with that, but as you've kind of launched this business, this side hustle that became the main attraction for you, who has been important to make that happen?
Well, my family has been, the most supportive in this, but in the community, people like you, Andy, and Heather, and Autumn, and Janae of Something Else Boutique, because they really gave us a shot in doing the Christmas at the Ridge at the mall.
Yeah.
And I was able to talk with Heather and getting in with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, and that just has kind of like opened new doors, and like we've gotten to meet you, and then meeting all the people at the farmers markets, and then Dee Dee Zarnecki out in Bedford. She's been, probably my best customer. So it's just really awesome to meet with all these people, and we've got an event. We've got actually a few events in April coming up along with the fundraiser. We'll be at the farmers market. We're going to do an event with the Mission House Coffee, and an event with the Water Dog.
Okay.
So meeting with Mariah, who's works at the Mission House Coffee, she's been really sweet. And Dave Henderson out in the Water Dog, I met with him last week. He's awesome, and we're motoring to do some things with the dog treats and paws of honor and be a part of their events. So it's just like when you join with one of these things, the doors just open, and the people are just so receptive and so supportive, and you're just like, I should have done this 15 years ago, but like, it's just been awesome. And for us, for Sweet Batches, so many people have supported me, my family, my husband, and all of us for so long, in different ways, obviously, but this is my husband and I's way of us giving back of all of the people that have just poured into us over the years. And like for Coach Smith, that was really important for us to do, because my family moved down here. I was already here because I went to school at LC, and while I was in school, my parents bought a big farm out in Appomattox and put a house up and everything. But when they retired, my parents moved down with my 3 youngest siblings. And it was right when my youngest brother was going into high school. And he wasn't really affiliated with sports or anything like his older brothers were, but they said the football program is really good at the high school, and Coach Smith is great. So my dad took him to meet him, and Coach Smith just kind of like took little man under his wing and was really such a support system for him that really meant like the world, and like to me and my family, that he was able to take this kid from New Jersey, and like stick him in the football team, but like also he came out of his shell and he just became like this great kid, and now he's graduating from BMI in the spring. But when we found out that Coach was going through this battle of cancer, it just kind of like hit home, and we just thought, well, there's got to be something that we can do, for this. So we're gonna set this fundraiser up, and we're just gonna reach out to as many people as we can, and help them get through this, because not only is he going through it, but it's during a Corona, and having to do like flip around his whole football season, and his walk of faith is just really inspiring, and he's just a wonderful overall man. So we just felt like we needed to give back to him, because he touched our family and supported our family in a way that he may not know, but that's what we want to do. We want to be the company, one of the companies in this area that people, if they have an idea, or if they have a need, or if they have an idea about wanting to give back to something, we want them to approach us so that we can set something up to help whatever organization or family that they need. Like this in April, we're doing the fundraiser for the Yellow Branch Challengers. In July, we're going to be part of another golf tournament at the Pauling River Country Club for Coach Smith. And then in September, we are possibly looking at doing a fundraiser for childhood cancer awareness to help a family that lost their baby to that number of years ago in the area. So
big things.
I mean, we just want to give to all of the people that have given to us for so long.
It's great when you can see that of business owners and people in the community that just kind of surround one another.
That's right.
And that they guard and protect with that. So people that are passionate about the same things, that they want to be able to support you or keep up with your journey along the way, where can they find more information about Sweet Batches?
So right now they can catch us on Facebook, and our name is Sweet Batches Paxton. We don't have a website yet, but that's in the works. Or they can catch us on Instagram as Sweet Batches 20.
So I will share the links down below in the show notes for YouTube as well as for the podcast if you're listening right now, so that you've got a link to both of those platforms, so that way you can make sure that you don't miss when she's got special events or when she's coming to your area, things with that. That's right. We lucked out that you were through Lynchburg about a week ago, and you had some special offers that we took advantage of. So you never know what's going to come with that, but we want to make sure that we continue to support. So Kelly, thanks so much for joining with today, as we could share a little bit of your journey with Sweet Batches and coming to the area from New Jersey. And guys, be sure, if you don't already, like, share, subscribe with episodes so that you never miss an episode of Dream Achievers. And until next time, this is Andy Young, the Mountain Money Man, signing off to catch you down the road.